Hello, thank you for tuning in tonight. On July the 2nd, 2025, we are going to pray for America. And a passage that often is used in this context, which is, it doesn't quite fit, but there are portions of it that really do, would be 2 Chronicles 7 and the verses surrounding verse 14. We find tonight that Solomon had finished the temple, and verse 11, we're going to get right into it. 2 Chronicles 7, verse 11, thus Solomon finished the house of the Lord and the king's palace, and successfully completed all that he had planned on doing in the house of the Lord and in his palace. And then the Lord appeared to Solomon at night and said to him, I've heard your prayer and have chosen this place for myself as a house of sacrifice. So the first thing I want to tell you is this passage is about the dedication of the temple and are leading into it. And so does it directly apply to the United States of America? Not directly as a one-on-one, yes, it is exactly 100% fit, but there's something in here in verse 14 that I believe is true and will always be true for us, for those of us that honor Christ. In verse 13, God said, if I shut up my heavens so that there's no rain, or if I command the locust to devour the land, or if I send pestilence among my people, and my people who are called by my name humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. Now, I want you to stop and see something in this. I'll probably, if you want to email me or get angry about this, go ahead. I'll take my lumps. But I also know that this is a direct call to the people of God. So does this apply for the entire United States of America? I can't answer that, because right now there are many people in the United States of America that do not love God, that do not revere him. But if you're one of God's people, this is for you. And I believe that with all my heart. And God said, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways. So he's talking to his people, okay? And he says that we need to humble ourselves, pray, seek God's face, and turn from our wicked ways. That if we will do those things, then God will hear from heaven, he will forgive our sin, and he will heal our land. Now, as a church, the United States, next year, we will celebrate 250 years of freedom. In 3 years, Ebenezer will celebrate 250 years of being, which is kind of cool. But next year, we will have been a nation for 250 years. And so, so that will be a wonderful celebration if we make it there. Because sometimes I think we just, in spite of ourselves, we may or may not. And I don't blame one particular party any more than I blame another. Because I think all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God, and all seek their own way instead of seeking God. But God says for those who follow Christ, which is our context, he didn't say that in 2 Chronicles 7, but for those of us who revere Christ and who seek Christ as the only way of salvation, that if we will, if we will humble ourselves and pray and seek his face and turn from our wicked ways, then he's going to hear from heaven, forgive our sin, and heal our land. Here's what I want you to see tonight, church. What are we doing to reach our nation for Christ? Arguing's not going to cut it. Are there people that live in lifestyles that are unbiblical and we don't like them? Yes, there are. That God doesn't like them? Yes, there are. But putting everything else aside, you got to figure out how to love those people and how to reach them. The Holy Spirit will convict them of their sin. The Holy Spirit is responsible for changing them. You got to figure out how to love them and reach them with Christ. That's your job. That's my job. We need to put aside the anger. We need to put aside the idea that we've got to change them, that we got to clean them up before we're even going to allow them to come to Christ. And that's what we do. And I'm sorry, but Southern Baptists are terrible about that. And we're too busy as Southern Baptists fighting over bits of the Bible that honestly don't have a thing to do with sharing the gospel. And we get so caught up in those kinds of things that we have forgotten that we're supposed to be reaching our world, and we're supposed to be reaching the United States of America with the gospel. It kind of makes me ashamed sometimes. Still love being a Southern Baptist. I love this church. But we've got to get busy sharing the gospel. But we also have to humble ourselves, pray, seek God's face, and turn from our wicked ways. Where does revival start? Starts with you. Hope you have a great 4th. Would love to see you in church Sunday.